Hey friends, welcome back to Cardinal Territory. I'm your host, Katie Wu, and with me is the one and only Dan Hayes, the Twins writer for The Athletic, great teammate, even better friend of mine. We have two, technically, opening day shows for you this week. One will be with Bernie, that's coming out on Wednesday. But today, Tuesday, March 25th, Dan is so kind to share his outlook for the Minnesota Twins and what we can expect on opening day on Thursday. Dan, how are you?
I'm good. Oh, you left off on my title. I'm now the president of Hot Dish Networks. It's a new president and CEO. I took a leadership role on just this week. It's a inside joke for Twins fans who are probably not watching, but yeah, they have some amazing television networks that they're MLB this year. They're streaming on MLB, so we have Paul Bunyan Television is a real thing. Like I had to tweet that the other day or put that on social media the other day. They were the first network to sign up to guaranteed Twins television. So exciting times. I am now the president and CEO of Hot Dish Networks. It's pretty incredible week here. So excited to, come celebrate in St. Louis.
Well, unfortunately, that title did not make the very celebratory graphic that I made for you in the last 5 seconds. So sorry about that. Well, Dan Hayes, I'm just thinking, you are still in Florida from the looks of it. Looks like you're in like the Twins media press box right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hanging out.
When will you get to St. Louis?
What's that?
When will you get to St. Louis?
I will get to St. Louis sometime around 8:00 Tuesday night. Yes,
Okay.
8:00. Yes. Should
Okay.
be very exciting.
I will have a double vodka soda ready for you after the media day tomorrow, Wednesday. I have no idea what day it is or what is going on, and I am running out of time to get ready for opening day. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I still don't know my season preview story yet. It's running tomorrow morning, or it'll run around the same time this airs. I haven't written my season preview yet, so it's running out of time. This is what spring training is. It's a mess at the end. It's a cluster at the end.
Yes, and I thought with like a couple of built-in days, I would be able to have my life together. I do not. So hopefully the Cardinals and the Twins are shaping up a little bit better than we are. But I mean, what do people expect from us? Come on.
They know. They just that's why everybody just generally laughs when they see us, and they know that the show that's about to unfold when we arrive.
Say what you want. We are at least entertaining. Let's talk a little bit about the upcoming baseball series. Nothing says baseball season like an interleague series to start the year. Cardinals will have Sonny Gray against Pablo Lopez for the Twins on Thursday, a 3:15 start. Off day Friday, and then day games on Saturday and Sunday. Dan, what's been the story for the Minnesota Twins? What do the Cardinals need to know coming into this first series of the year?
Like the injuries have popped up a little bit here at the end of camp for the Twins. Royce Lewis won't play. Brooks Lee won't play. They're both going to start on the IL. Brock Stewart went on the IL. That's not necessarily as unexpected, but that's been the story for the Twins for a long time. Just the fact is, can they stay healthy? Will they? Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa's had plantar fasciitis in each foot the last couple of years. Royce Lewis has missed so much time. It's really going to be the defining factor for the Twins. Can they stay healthy? And last year, with Sonny Gray gone, the rotation really fell apart because of injuries. They traded for Anthony DeSclafani. He didn't ever throw a pitch for them. He got hurt in spring training. Chris Paddock was he was coming off of 18 combined innings in rehabbing and pitching in 2023. They were expecting him to throw like 100 innings. He made it to 80. Then he went out for the season, and then Joe Ryan went down. So injuries have really crushed them. I mean, all of a sudden they had 3 rookies in a pennant race, and that's why they went 12-27 down the stretch. They had no Correa for a while after he made the All-Star team. So if they can escape the injury bug, this is a really talented team. But at the it's not a great start just to see those injuries, but at the same time, they're still a very healthy team here. The rotation is probably benefiting from the fact that all those guys got hurt last year. I think the rotation is one of the stronger ones. In the AL Central, it definitely is. It probably even projects to be a top 10 rotation in baseball. So they're in decent shape, but they're still a little bit beat up coming in, and that's we'll see what they're capable of.
I feel like the Cardinals and the Twins have, at least last year, a bit of a similar path, right? They finished 82 and 80 for the Twins last year. Cardinals were 83-79, cut like right around 500. The AL Central ended up being very competitive. The NL Central, not so much. But when you're looking at all the divisions in baseball, I think the AL Central and NL Central are usually the ones that are kind of like on the lower level of the pedestal. No one's really talking about them. And the Twins have a bunch of issues kind of going on off the field, are looking to sell the team. What do you think of Twins fan morale coming into the season, and how does the threat or the looming sense of the team being sold impact that?
Yeah, we just did that poll, that fan poll at the Athletic, and
I
I
did
think
not do that one. I kind
yeah,
of have.
I didn't either. I did not. No, but I think they did something based off fan morale. And based off fan morale, the Twins were picked fourth in the division, which, I mean, honestly, if they're healthy, I think they win this division. But it just speaks to where the fan base is. 2 years ago, Twins fans were jacked. Like, they had won their first playoff series in 21 years. They won their first playoff game since 2002 also, or 2004 in the playoff game. But they draw sellout crowds. They look like they're kind of going places. And then ownership cut payroll by $30 million going into last season, which was one of the reasons Sonny Gray ended up with St. Louis, was because the Twins just had no way they could afford him. It wasn't even a conversation. It was, thank you for your service. We got to move on. That basically killed fan morale. I mean, last year, typically when a team wins a division, the next year they get a boost in payroll. And, teams estimate it could be upwards of 300,000 tickets, which is a significant amount of money, obviously, when the average fan spends something like 50 or 60 bucks at the ballpark. So when you are coming up short on that, and they lost attendance from the year before, they dropped by 22,000 fans from the year before. They still have not been above 2 million fans since 2019. I'd say fan morale is very low. And, just yesterday, Ken Rosenthal, Britt Giraldi wrote a story about how the team is still up for sale, how ownership might not get its price. They just rejected a $1.5 billion valuation, and they're $425 million in debt. Fans reacted about as you would think. They're not really thrilled right now that the Pollard family still owns the team. I think that if a sale happens, it would be great for the next owners, because they're not the current ownership. And, this current ownership, Carl Pohlad bought the team in 1984. They won 2 World Series in 87 and 91, beating the Cardinals in 87. But that's a long time ago. And I think that fans are just ready to move on. I think the business would benefit from it. And we would probably see more people come in, because, and I do take with a grain of salt that social media is not the barometer for everything, but at the same time, the vitriol on social media towards the Twins and ownership right now, it's as high as it's been since I've been here, and this is my 8th season. So I know it's not a pretty time necessarily, and it's crazy because when you look at the team, people should be excited about this team. Byron Buxton looks healthy. Carlos Correa is coming off an all-star season. The rotation's good. The bullpen's good. They will get Royce Lewis back. Like, there's a lot to like about this team, and I think fans are just kind of tuning it out right now.
Coming from a fan base that I'm covering, that seems to be pretty tuned out with the overall direction of the club. I get it. I think you'll be surprised. I mean, have you done opening day in St. Louis before?
I have not, and I am looking forward to it. So that should be cool.
When was the last time you were here?
No, they may have been there before, but I have not. So I've been there only for 2 trade deadlines.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, the John Gant walk across the hall.
Oh, yeah, both times the Twin that you were here was a Twins trade deadline. I remember the 2023 one. The Twins did not make a trade, and the Cardinals were rapid firing people off. And you brought me a sandwich. This is what I'm talking about when I say you're a good teammate and a good friend, because I was on fumes, and I go to my desk, and there is a full sandwich there in the press box. Just
the recommendation. I'm gonna go back, but you sent me to the right place. Just put it that way. And I was like, this trade deadlines can be terrible days. And then you can cover the Twins, and trade deadlines are a breeze. Like, we haven't done anything of significance in 2 years. So it's very easy. I'm just sitting there going, all right, I've got nothing going on today. What? Because that team was so set, and they still won the division. they weren't going to make any moves, and we knew it. And those are good days. Those are nice trade deadlines. And then there's the one like last year where we were in New York, and just getting to Citi Field is a hike because of where it's located and transferring trains and all that stuff. And man, they didn't make a move last year, and fans were just extremely disappointed that the club was too. So yes, hopefully, I think this year we're at home, and I can't remember who's in, but if I'm inundated with trade stuff because the team hasn't sold, we'll it could be a very interesting trade deadline this year. So
you're talking to someone who did not have to do one single thing over the off season, except hang out with you at the GM meetings and the winter meetings. And one of us got concussed, but I'm not going to say who.
That's probably why I have this job with Hot Dish Networks now. Is I created it in the throes of a concussion, and that was a freak rainstorm that we all ran into. That was very, very interesting few days in San Antonio.
Who would have thought? What a place. Dan Hayes, there are a couple of one former Cardinal, one former Twin I'd like to talk to you about. But first, got to hear from our sponsors, our friend at True Classic.
If you're looking for premium clothes at an affordable price, you got to check out True Classic. AJ, you're rocking the True Classic shirt right now.
Oh, believe it. Look at this thing. Look at it. Soft. It fits perfect. Even with these guns, not too tight like Scott likes it. Little bit of room to move in there, right? Look, you can wear it under a suit. You can wear it out to dinner with some nice jeans. You can wear it to the gym if that's what your game is. Whatever it takes, this thing fits great, feels great. Great shirt.
The long sleeve Henny for these cold, kind of warm spring days. Perfect.
Yep. Build the perfect outfit in 5 minutes or less. Everything goes great together. Free shipping on all orders. It's designed to bring out your best features with a perfect fit. So, FT fam, whether you're bundling up for the cold or getting ready for spring, level up your style with clothes that actually fit right. Go to our exclusive link, trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. Shop now and elevate your wardrobe today. FT fam, get after it.
All right. I got to ask you, I know he was one of your favorites in 2023. It was not a good spring for Sonny Gray. I'll go ahead and read his spring training stat lines with the preface that, yes, it's just spring training, but still, this is alarming. 4 games, 4 starts, 12.56 ERA, 20 earned runs in 14 1/3 innings, and he did not complete 5 of his last 7 innings. In his second to last spring start, he appeared in 5 innings. He completed 1. I have never seen a pitcher get pulled from 4 consecutive innings. The most concerning thing for me, Dan, is that Sonny's velo has been sitting 90, 91. I mean, he topped out at 91.7 in his final spring outing of the year. And then to his credit, came and met with reporters and was, as you know, very candid and honest about what was going on. He said, obviously, the ball is not exploding out of my hand right now. Would I like to be rearing back, throwing 93, 94? Obviously, absolutely, but that's not happening right now. He said, I might just have to pitch a little different until the velo comes back. What's your read on Sonny Gray? When he was with the Twins, second in AL Cy Young voting, what was he doing well? And does the velo concern you?
I mean, if it stays that way into season, and obviously you can get a little bit from adrenaline, but if he's saying that, obviously he's focused on it himself too. The first year the Twins got him, it was right after the lockout ended, and he was behind schedule. And I know he had told the Reds, and or I can't remember how it worked out, but he showed up having.
Was that you or me?
We have an alarm in the press box here.
There has been an emergency reported in the building.
Okay.
Okay, great. That's so spring training of you.
It just got canceled. It just got canceled.
You need to leave Florida. It's so bad.
Our first spring training, they made the trade for Sonny the weekend of the lockout ending. So he came on 2 days notice. He was well behind schedule. So I sort of remember what it was like when he was off, and he was searching for a lot of that season. He got hurt a couple times. He had dealt with stuff. And then the 2023 version was so different. It was just strong. It was great velocity, unbelievable season that got him that contract and basically pitched him out of the Twins' plans because they were in such a spot. There was no way. He got 3.75, right, from the Cardinals,
Mm-hmm.
3.25 a year. They just couldn't afford to do that because with where he is age-wise, I think they were they believe he could do it. It's not a question of whether or not he could do it. It's just if time caught up with him, they could not afford that big of a loss. Having the Sonny Gray that was not healthy, not throwing as well. And so they opted to move on. They just really had no choice. When he's really going, he was so electric. I mean, he gave up, I think, 8 home runs that season. It was his home run rate was the lowest in forever. It was the lowest in baseball that year. He was just incredible the entire way. And you could see the difference between locked in him, healthy him, and the different version. He was still a really good pitcher in 2022. He had like a 3.24 ERA. He just had trouble going past 5 innings, and Rocco Baldelli had to pull him a bunch because he just didn't have the legs under him for most of that season. So, I mean, Sonny's an honest guy. For him to say that's not there, one, he'll figure out a way around it because he just is a hell of a pitcher and a hell of a competitor. So even working with diminished velocity, I think he can still get outs. The spring training numbers definitely are alarming. I still always put at least a little bit. I want to see it in that first outing before I make any judgments, because so many guys don't work with game plans. There's no scouting reports. And so you never know if a guy really is truly working on stuff, and maybe he's trying some stuff out. It'll be interesting to see on opening day. It's not the easiest way to make to try and break out of something, to go out there on opening day with the entire crowd there and everybody looking for a tone setter to the season. It's a big test. And obviously facing the Twins, they're not totally at full strength, but they still have a really good lineup going right now. And it should be kind of interesting to see because, the difference, if he is on, man, he can be a difference maker. And if he's not, obviously it can be hurting a team's chances.
I like how you said Sonny Gray gave up 8 homers in that 2023 season. He also gave up 8 homers this spring, and they were very loud. They were very loud. But I think you're right. And I like what you say about Sonny, who is going to figure out a way to get things done, even if the velo isn't there. And that's what he talked about with us last weekend in Jupiter. He said, yeah, it's going to look different. But if you looked at how he ended his last start against the Astros this spring, first 2 innings, not good. He didn't get out of that second inning. And I was like, here we go again. But in the third inning, he completely switched up his pitching plan. His sequencing was different. He threw 37 pitches. Only 6 of those were 4-seam fastballs. So he just kind of used the sweeper mix, all the breaking pitches, mixed in a curveball every now and then. And it worked. He got outs. So I think that Sonny Gray can go out there on Thursday and still perform. I don't really think he cares who it's against. Sure, it's his former team. I think he more so cares that it's the home opener. It's opening day. You want to be the tone setter, like you said. Do I expect him to light up the radar gun? Definitely not. But I do think, given where he's at in his career and what he's accomplished, he's earned at least the leash, if you will, or the benefit of the doubt, where I think he'll be able to figure it out. Now, if the velo after 2 or 3 starts, I'm a person where I need to see 3 starts from a starting pitcher in the regular season before I make any kind of definitive analysis. If the velo doesn't come up after that 3rd start, then I'm becoming concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's funny, guys work themselves into the shape. Currently, Bailey over with the Twins is going through sort of the same thing. He's 6'9". He's a big dude, and he's talking about how his mechanics are out of whack and the ball just isn't coming out of his hand the way he is. But he's a pitcher, and I think Sonny's just a pitcher, and the difference when they have spin, when they can manipulate the ball, when they can manipulate batters' eyes with different locations. And he knows enough tricks. And it's funny you say that he doesn't care about the team. He's played for so many teams at this point that you just don't get hung up on that kind of stuff. And he's such a fascinating guy, especially with the way he talks in his interviews. It's funny those were some of my favorite interviews. And the second year was so much better when he knew us a little more. And you got to know him, he got to know you. And it coincided with one of the best seasons of his career. So it was a fun version of Sonny to see, especially because he had been so stressed in 2022, being behind. You could tell he was worried about performing for a new team, and it was a different version in 23. So if anyone can adapt, it'll be him. And it'll be interesting to see what Pablo Lopez can do on the other side, because he, numbers wise, his ERA is around 6.6. He didn't have a greatest spring, but the Twins say, man, he's throwing the ball electric. He's just working on stuff. So seeing what he can do, and if he can have his ERA catch up to his FIP, which was a half point different last year. There was some bad luck, but the strikeouts were down. What Pablo gives the Twins on opening day and going forward is a huge thing for them, because he has the potential to be a top 15 pitcher, and last year he was more in the 30 range, and they need someone to assume that top 15 role like they had from Pablo in the second half of 23 and had from Sonny that entire season.
Well, we got one more player we got to check in on. I was talking with a couple of my scribe friends in St. Louis, and we were talking about who was going to get the loudest standing ovation on Thursday. Last year, the Cardinals opened against the Marlins, and it was after their disastrous 2023 season. Vibes were low, and no joke, the person who got the largest standing ovation at Busch Stadium on opening day was opposing manager Skip Schumacher. And it was hilarious because it was like between him and Willie McGee for loudest ovations. And I have the writers have a not so bold prediction that old friend Harrison Bader is going to get the loudest ovation on opening day, just because we talked about, the fan morale in St. Louis is not good. Same with the Twins, but they love them some Harrison. Where does he fit in with the Twins this year?
He's going to play a ton. He'll get 400 plate appearances. One thing that they have two really good left-handed hitting outfielders in Matt Wallner and Trevor Larnach, but neither of them is a really good defender. So Harrison Bader is going to see a lot of time coming in, being a defensive replacement. He'll probably play for Byron Buxton quite a bit. Byron Buxton, just with his injury history, it's been imperative for the Twins to have a guy to step in. And 2 years ago was Michael A. Taylor. And last year, Manny Margot was not quite the guy. They made a trade for him late in spring training. It didn't work out. Margot was like 0 for 30 as a pinch hitter. It was terrible. Michael A. Taylor, the year before that, hit 21 homers, wasn't a very good offensive player. His OPS plus was like 90. So he was below average, but he had power. I think that Bader, if he can play great defense and be just somewhere around that, like 85, 90 on the OPS plus scale, will win over fans, because his style is, everybody loves that style of play. The guy that goes and gets dirty, the guy that goes and gets the ball. And the potential for this electric defensive outfield has a chance, because the Twins also kept Deshaun Kiersey Jr. yesterday. The three of them are basically center fielders. And obviously Buxton won a platinum glove in 2017. Bader won a gold glove with the Cardinals. Kiersey is of that ilk. And so the idea that at one point in the game late, if the Twins are ahead, all three of them are going to be playing out there, that's going to be one of the best defensive outfields in baseball this year, and if not in a couple of years. So I think Bader should fit really well. He's talked about liking the idea of coming to Minnesota because it's a hockey town. I don't think he knows that the Wild are about third on the depth chart right now because they suck. But he does. He gets the mentality, and I think he thinks his style's going to fit in. It should very well. He just has tools, and fans love those kinds of players, especially the ones that make nice diving catches. So it should be fun to see how he fits in. That was their biggest free agent addition of the offseason. They only spent about $10.5 million, but 6 of it went to him. And I think he doesn't have to hit a ton to be valuable for this team. Of course they want him to hit. They would love the guy to play. And it's funny. He has already talked about playing left field for the first time. He's only done that, I think, twice in the majors. The last time he really did it consistently was at Florida in 2015 or 2014, whatever year it was that they went on to win a national title. Michael Reed played over him in center field. I think it's Michael Buddy Reed is the guy's name. He played up the triple.
It was an A's prospect.
Yeah, he was the last guy to kind of supplant Harrison Bader as a center fielder. And Bader has talked about, he's like, I'm getting used to this. I know Byron Buxton's here. So I think he knows what's expected of him, and the Twins know, and it was sort of a good fit coming in. So it should be fun to see how that goes.
Well, I know what will be fun. Opening day. I know you said you've never done it in St. Louis, and I have to say, I've said it before, I'll say it to anyone who listens, opening day in St. Louis is something special. I know that this might not be the packed house that it usually is, just based on where the fan base is. There's still plenty of tickets available, much to the Cardinals' dismay. But the the whole ceremony, the whole vibe around it, it will be great. And what will be even better is that off day for us on Friday. That's going to work out really well for you and I.
Possibly there might be headaches. But like it's funny that these teams played the World Series and now here they are opening up a match or matching up on opening day, and both fan bases are kind of in the same place. It's just a weird place to be and I get it. I get why fans are disgruntled. There was a TV blackout last year. They still haven't announced where they're going to be on TV right now with a couple days to go.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I know. And last year what happened was the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, and the Padres were all through MLB also. And their deals got announced on the last day before opening day. So that's the expectation. But fans, it's just another thing that they're going nuts about. It's not a great time. And it's sort of up to this team to come out here and play well and make the fans forget about all that stuff and make it ancillary and just, show they're a good team and make people care about them that way, because it has not been a great PR kind of offseason for the Twins.
Well, I know another organization we can say that about. Hey, Dan, thank you so much for doing this. You can follow Dan Hayes, all his great work on The Athletic. He's also on Twitter/X, whatever, at Dan Hayes MLB. Opening day very soon. We're excited about it. We'll check in. I am excited to see how the Cardinals and Twins fare in this 3-game set. I'm mostly very excited to see you, my friends. So safe travels to St. Louis. Cardinal territory. We're back on Wednesday at some point with Bernie Miklas with our Cardinals opening day preview segment part 2, breaking down Ollie Marmol's opening day lineup, what that's going to look like, pitching plans, all that good stuff. So for Dan Hayes, I'm Katie Wu. This is Cardinal Territory. Thanks for watching.